What it is, Mo?
Mo, what's up?
What's going on, everyone? This is the Aggie Gameday Extra Podcast. I'm senior Texas A&M sports writer Travis Brown. I'm back. I was gone last week. I'm back now.
We're so glad to have you
You
back,
left?
Travis.
I left. I was,
Back like you never left.
Over there, Max Crawford, chief meteorologist.
Cheese meteorologist.
Cheese meteorologist.
The cheesiest.
I would love to be a cheese meteorologist.
big cheese
Just,
meteorologist.
predict how good cheese is going to taste.
I'm-
Over here, Morgan Weaver, and she is a sports reporter, but only for a few more hours because
Yeah.
she is leaving us. This
She's
is
been
her
in-
last pod.
She finna clock out.
I finna clock out.
good.
I'm heading back up north. I am going to Providence, Rhode Island to join the CBS affiliate there, WPRI, to be a sports reporter. So 4 years in College Station and an end of a chapter, and it's bittersweet.
Max, can we make her cry before the end of the podcast?
I can try.
cried so much.
I think we
I
should
can
try to
try.
make her cry before
I
the end
wrote
of the
all my
podcast.
thank you notes last night, and I cried.
Aw, that
you
is so
you
very
both
nice.
will get one.
Wow.
Don't
Oh.
read it in front of me. That's so weird.
We'll read it on the podcast next week.
Providence
Providence.
is like a pretty regular NCAA basketball tournament team, correct?
Yes. The last few, I know last year was pretty rough for them. It's Kim English's third season there. This year is going to be. So I know they hit the portal a lot and got some talent, spent a little money. So, but yeah, that's the first thing I remembered when I hear Providence
Yeah.
is the Friars being a regular
Yeah,
in
the
NCAA tournament. The
Friars.
Friars.
That's a good mascot.
It is. So yeah, I'll be covering them, University of Rhode Island, Bryant, Brown, and also trading Saturdays for Sundays. Going to be covering the Patriots and some Boston teams as well.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah,
We are so
I'm
very
excited.
happy for you, Mo.
Thank you.
Well, let's take a jog down memory lane as we're
Oh.
attempting to make you cry.
Okay.
What's some of your favorite? When you first moved down here.
Okay. Yeah.
When you first moved down here, what did you think of College Station? What did you think this would be? This place? What did you think covering Texas A&M would be? What was your kind of those initial presuppositions / first reactions?
I
Did
think-
anybody warn you?
No. No, nobody did because nobody I personally knew anything about Texas A&M and College Station. The only thing I knew was Johnny Manziel in that 7 overtime game against LSU. And Josh Corbett, our news director, reached out to me and was like, hey, you should apply for this job. And when I looked it up, I'm like, where is this place?
What is Texas?
I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I had never stepped foot into the state other than a layover in Houston before. So I really had no expectations other than I knew the state was massive. Football was close behind God and that it's hot. That's about all I knew, but I've learned so much more and I'm grateful for it. I had no idea what Texas A&M was all about, what Texas A&M football was going to be. Obviously, I had no idea what the Friday Night Lights down here was going to be like either, but they all exceeded my expectations. Whatever they tell you about Friday Night Lights in Texas or Kyle Field, it's all true and then some.
So you got here in
21. I was still here for Jimbo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since 2021, some of your favorite A&M memories, covering A&M memories.
Oh, okay. I think some of them are probably kind of recent. I wasn't at the game where they kicked the field goal to beat Alabama. I was here back at the station, but all of us erupted back here. So that was my first year, which was kind of crazy. And then I went to Omaha with the Aggies that same year, and they won their first game in Omaha. I was there for that.
Yeah,
They'd been
that was
to
a big
Omaha
deal.
before, but never won.
Right.
So that was cool. We were there for like a week. Obviously, all the upsets at Reed with A&M basketball, watching Buzz Williams build that program up to what it had been the past few years was really cool.
And you're still stuck with Buzz.
I'm still stuck with Buzz. He's at my alma mater now, so he better win basketball games. Baseball, another one when they beat Oregon, the Caden Kent Grand Slam. I was there for that. That was chills.
That was so awesome.
That was so awesome. Those are a few of them. When basketball upset Alabama and Tennessee at home, and then Auburn last year as well. Wade Taylor getting his jersey hung in the rafters. That's very memorable. And all the like little mundane things too. I mean, just being here at the station, being in our little sports corner.
Yeah.
Max sliding the door
I was
open
gonna
every
say,
day.
Plus me just coming up behind people's shoulders all the time.
Yeah.
Just wanting to talk about
like the kid
stuff.
from Hey Arnold, just kind of breathing behind you.
Honestly, yeah, for real. And if that's why I have to pull my face away from the microphone so I don't sound like that the entire pod. And honestly, a little bit of the inspiration behind the pod is like, let's bring Max on. He always wants to
You
flip
always
and
want
talk
to
to
join
us
into
about.
the sports department, but we love it.
Yeah.
We love it.
Morgan, we have a group chat amongst the sports people and Max, which Morgan aptly aimed, yes, Max? Like,
Yes,
what-
Max, question mark?
Yeah. It's like, what can we do for you, Max? Also, Max, the show starts in 5 minutes, so it better be important.
Yeah, so tell you're a lot of people are going to be like, and you mentioned your alma mater, but a lot of people are going to be like, Rhode Island? Like,
Yeah.
why Rhode Island?
I think for me, when you get into this industry, I mean, I'm from Maryland originally, and I moved to College Station, Texas. Everybody was like, why College Station, Texas? I'm like, oh, I want to cover SEC sports. Like, I want to do that. And I always said my next move, people were like, where do you want to go? And I was like, honestly, I have no strings attached. I'm young. I can move anywhere. And so Providence, Rhode Island called, and I was like, why not? I mean, they cover pro sports. The sports department there is well established. The station seems great. It's not too far from home. It's about a 7-hour drive compared to the 21-hour drive now.
I didn't realize it was 7.
7, yeah.
Really? I thought it would
You
be
gotta
like
get through
3
New
or
York.
something. Yeah.
You gotta get through New York.
Probably, like, if you didn't have to deal with traffic, it would
Yeah.
probably be more like 3, right?
Probably.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. But the flight is short too. But I was just ready for the next chapter. And I think that I served my purpose here and ready for the next group to come up. I mean, we got Aaron and Jair in the house now, and they seem awesome. They have experience, and they're ready to hit the ground running. And they're really excited, which is the best thing.
They do seem like go-getters for
Yeah,
sure. And I have a
yeah.
whole new group of people to annoy. It's going to be
Yeah.
great.
And
It's
they
gonna
get
be
to
great.
learn
They don't
all
know what
about
they-
Aggie land.
They don't know
Yep.
what they're in for
Yeah.
yet fully.
Nope, not truly.
Well, cool. Well, Morgan, I'm sad that we didn't have you on the podcast more. It was usually
I was just twice. I'm off on Wednesdays. I wasn't avoiding the pod. I just wasn't willing to come in on my off day.
Going to
for
make
the
you
pod.
come in, yeah,
You
on your
could have
off day.
changed the schedule. Could have done on Tuesdays.
That's true. I mean, but I was going to make you come in on your off day. So
No.
yeah. So we're going to miss you.
I'm gonna miss everybody.
Especially the people of the city of Franklin.
Oh my gosh.
We're gonna miss you
I'm gonna miss
a
my
ton.
Franklin people.
Max, he's gonna get by. He'll be fine.
Is not the first person I've seen leave and won't be the last. So.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Max
Yep.
is just kicking her out the
The
door
world
And I'll
keeps
just
spinning.
be sitting here in the weather center, just
in the podcast room
Yep.
with me
annoying people.
talking about
Yeah.
Well, great. Well, we it's been a little chaotic. There's been a lot of people taking their vacation time. We're getting some new people trained, and so I'll just go ahead and be honest with the fact that we weren't as thoroughly prepared for this podcast as we have been in other ones. But I think it's the thing that's on our minds the most, of course, is Aggie football right now. It's getting started up. And so as a part of kind of talking through some of the things that we've seen so far in fall camp and some of the conversations we had, there's a little bit of a conversation to go along with what does even covering fall camp look like?
Yeah. Sweaty.
Are you gonna miss all those times being out at Kyle Field watching stretching and individual workouts?
Right now I think I am, but then actuality when you go to it, it's just watching the same drills over and over. But I'm gonna miss the people out there the most. Just covering it, maybe not so much. It's like a bunch of sweaty guys running around on the field, and then you gotta wait a couple hours for the press conference. So you're not missing much if you don't go to a fall camp.
It kind of
practice.
just sounds like working here, to be honest.
Yeah, just watching my sweaty guys run around.
Yeah, and
Are you
then
included in
waiting
the
for the
sweaty
show.
guys?
I'm probably
Well,
the leader.
the
of
sweatiest.
Yeah.
In past regimes of college football coaches, and I think the reason why is everybody's got a camera now. Everybody can get things immediately on
they
the
don't
internet.
want us to see anything.
Right, and I get that.
Yeah.
But I can remember before class sometimes, or like maybe a week or two before the semester, just walking up on a Mike Sherman coached fall practice. Like the practice was open. Like that whole area by the practice field was still like fenced and
Yeah.
gated off and stuff, but most of the time the gate was just open. You could just walk right up. Like the amount
That's
of times
crazy.
that I walked in were, I didn't do it every time, but I don't know, at
Was
least
this
a half
before
dozen
cell
times.
phones?
No.
Was
it
this when
not-
they used carrier
I-
pigeons?
I probably had an iPhone 4.
Okay.
Maybe my old iPhone 3G.
zooming
something
But if you
capabilities.
zoomed, it was going to
No.
look
Oh,
like
gosh.
like the
Right.
original Mario video game.
Yeah, and they probably also moved like some of the, hey, we're going to work on this
Yeah.
play stuff into the indoor. But yeah, I would walk up to open practices all the time
That's
within the
kinda
Sherman
wild.
era.
We're not even allowed to use our phones in practice. Like
Yeah,
you can't
and-
like
Yeah.
live record.
Again,
you have to wait till afterwards.
I kind of get it.
Yeah.
But that also, it's just all conjecture during fall camp now. Not that it kind of always has been.
I will
but-
admit that I've lost a little bit of my fandoms being in this job because
Yeah.
you don't really get to be a fan. You don't remember.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to remember what it's like to be a fan in that moment. I don't really follow my alma mater, but now when we go out to practice, we're running right out of practice so we can tweet out all the little videos of drills and stuff. What is that like? I get
I
it.
will
Like
tell you.
like the most engaging stuff that we put on social media is these videos from fall camp.
Yeah.
Remind me, fill me back into my more youthful days. What is it like when those hit social media as a fan's perspective?
Yeah, so it's like spring football where you're kind of starved for content, and so any content is good content at that point. But it's a heart and brain type of thing. Because I'll throw Carter under the bus, who
We always throw Carter under
Right,
the bus.
why not?
He's our buddy.
Easy target.
Posting all of the throws from Marcel, and then
Yeah.
all the deep throws from Miles, which find an angle and use it and get your engagement. So obviously there's nothing wrong with what he did, but I'm just making fun of him here.
Today,
the heart goes,
I posted. They were something that I hadn't seen them do in front of us was corner fade routes.
Yeah.
They moved down to the red zone to
Worked
the
on
10
those.
and worked on end zone corner fades. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to have to it feels disingenuous to me as a journalist to record all of this and then go back and cut out all the drops. Because
Sure.
there
Yeah.
are drops at
No.
practice every day. So
I mean,
I
that's
posted
why you practice, right?
one whole round of corner fades.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is kind of what Carter did.
And so the heart is going, oh, what's wrong with Marcel?
Yeah.
Oh, is Miles a better thrower? Which, honestly, he could be a better thrower, but there's so little that we know, and they're just getting back in sync and stuff, and that's what practice is for, and they're doing just individual drills and stuff like that. So that's where the brain element comes into play. But when that's all that you have to go on, the conjecture is just insane. And I think a lot of people on yours and Carter's, a lot of the people 90 miles west of here grabbed a hold of a couple of those clips and were like, oh, Aggie's cooked and stuff like that,
Aggie's
as the
cooked.
Gen Zers like to say. And even one dude, what's that? His last name is Vogel, I think, was like, what happened to Terry Bussey? It's like, he's running a route.
He's
Man,
right
leave him
there.
And I
alone.
think the pass was overthrown too. I don't
I just,
Yeah.
I don't know.
by who? Who overthrew it?
You know, the funny thing
Who
is,
overthrew it,
I
Travis?
couldn't actually see.
Yeah.
From we
I don't know.
could only go so far in our little media area.
We're
Yeah.
really
And
confined.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a part of 3 or 4 different text groups that routinely talk about Aggie sports and especially Aggie football. And full disclosure, right before the pod started, I texted the group and was like, "So we gonna talk about this practice video, or is it a nothing burger?"
I think it's a nothing burger.
It's probably a nothing burger,
Yeah.
right?
I think
But-
all the camps are kind of, you can't take too much out of
but
it.
the heart.
We
the
all
heart
played
organ.
sports. I mean, not
Yeah.
at this level, but
No.
we all played sports. And I remember there was practices where I did fine in the next game, but I missed. I couldn't block the broadside of a barn
Yeah.
on baseball catch.
And
Well,
today was
and
the
then it
first
was
day of
fine.
pads.
I
First
feel
day.
So
You're right.
It's so early.
I honestly, I'm pretty sure it was you. You were talking about the kid who got yelled at the most.
Yeah.
Jimbo's first year was Jay Sternberger, who ended up probably being, you could argue, the offensive MVP. Maybe Travion Williams was.
I
But-
thought that kid was never going to see the field.
Yeah, exactly. Because they were just constantly yelling at him because he was messing up. And
Because he
then,
was their only tight end,
Right.
and
He's like,
he had to be good.
We need you, dude. Yeah. I mean, so you just don't freaking know.
Yeah.
I will say, it's also an opportunity to kind of see, and this is where it gets kind of weird because you start talking about how much weight has been put on or shed and stuff, and is it what between good weight and oh, he put on some bad weight and stuff like that, which is really weird to be talking about with like 18 to 22-year-olds.
I've never understood that whole reporting cycle.
I agree with that, but there is like an eye test element to go to it because, I mean, honestly, I wanted to see Marcel get put on some healthy weight because the dude is going to take some hits this year, and so you want to see stuff like that. You want to see the D linemen and the offensive linemen putting on good weight and stuff like that. So there's something to be said about that, I suppose.
Yeah.
But probably not, right?
I mean,
we're sitting here. That's all we have, and we're what, T minus? Is it 2 weeks until week 0?
Oh, I don't even
just
want to
don't.
Why?
Because it's so soon, Max.
I like to ease. I like when I wake up in the morning. I like to.
In sports, football season is the beginning of like a long year.
Well, y'all got Friday football fever before you have to worry about Aggie game day. But, I mean, so we're close. And, like, by the time week 0 gets here, if you are a true college football fan, you don't even care what teams are playing. You just know that college football's on and you're here for it, right?
I do. It's such a mixed emotion because, like, I want to wake up on Saturday and turn on game day.
Absolutely.
I was watching the SEC show last night, and I was so fired up.
Yeah,
I was watching it.
I want that, but I also know how little sleep I'm going to get through that stretch, too.
And there are a couple of good week 0 matchups. I think Kansas State and Iowa State is one of them. Like, let's go.
Shout out
that's in
Dublin,
Franklin, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's in Ireland.
Which I believe that'll be the same Saturday that we are. Well, not you this year.
We're doing mud volleyball.
Yeah, we're doing hog splash.
Yeah.
Are you doing hog?
It is a TBD.
Okay.
We'll see.
You need to do it.
We might have to find a babysitter, but
just bring the baby to hog splash.
But I can remember like going back to the Georgia Tech and Florida State game, and like after we did a round of mud volleyball, like checking on our phone because we were streaming it and stuff, and seeing the game-winning field goal.
Thinking that
it's good times. It's awesome. It's an awesome time of year.
Over 40 years ago, my parents started C&J Barbecue, and today we continue to honor Dad's legacy with the best barbecue in the Brazos Valley. With locations on Harvey Road, Southwest Parkway, and our newest location on William Joe Bryan, we carry on our family tradition of serving up award-winning barbecue, sides, and desserts. We also offer delivery, catering, as well as custom menus and private chef services. Come visit us today for some of the best barbecue around. C&J Barbecue. The C is for Chip, the J is for Joe, and the barbecue is for you.
And I will say, pulling back the curtain a little, like the way that fall camp has worked for us in the media has evolved in different ways through the 10 years that I've been here. We were kind of talking about this today because it's kind of a little bit more like when I first got here, and a good thing, when fall camp or spring practice would end, and during the Kevin Sumlin era, we would all just have a thing set up in the indoor practice facility. So we would all just be waiting in the indoor practice facility for practice to end, parts we couldn't see, and then we would get to ask a bunch of questions. And it was kind of funny that sometimes we'd be in there for an hour and a half waiting for practice, and there would be, a bunch of us were like about, 28, 29, and then there was Brent, who acts like he was 28 or 29, and there'd be like a football over in the corner.
29 is generous.
Yeah. We'd be over there with a football in the corner, and someone would be like, hey, go run her out, and they throw the football, and then by the next 15 minutes, we'd be like doing a full 3-on-3 game.
Yeah. Fall camp's fun. It's like when you get back from school, like
it
summer
really
break.
Is.
You get to see all your friends again.
I mean, like, for example, this afternoon was Feast of Caring with the Brazos Valley Food Bank, and to me, that's like, okay, we're in the fall swing of things now. It doesn't feel like it outside by any stretch.
But the best part about that is we'd be running routes and doing games and stuff for an hour and a half, and then finally, Kevin Sumlin would walk out, and we'd all be like just
sweating,
drenched with sweat, like bent over, breathing heavily. Yeah, just what is going? I think on my Instagram, I have a picture of when we decided to kick field goals. Yeah, and so we would just have a bunch of a field goal kicking contest or whatever, and so but because of that, we got access after just about every practice like that in the fall. It kind of reined back in with Jimbo where we didn't get that kind of post. And now with Elko, we're getting the post practice availabilities at time, which is nice. But it's just kind of interesting the amount of access and what we can see and can't see. It does seem like it's trending back towards more access, more stuff. But like you said, and like we've said many times on this, we don't have the full picture of what's going on through the whole practice, who's starting where, who's doing what, to be able to know what they're actually trying to accomplish even in the drill that we're watching.
Yeah.
To have to know if this was good or bad, if this guy is dealing with something, or injury or not. And so it is a little bit hard, but it always is curious how much people just grasp onto any tidbit of video that we can give them from practice.
I do like this time of year because of the coordinator pressers, and I think that was
we never hear from them the rest of the year.
And I think that's something that Elko carried over from when he was under Jimbo, because I think Jimbo used to do the same thing too. Sumlin and Sherman would trot out their coordinators every week, like it would be coach, coordinators, and players.
Sumlin did it until his last season.
Okay,
Then we
and then
didn't
it was
get
just
coordinators.
him. Yeah.
Jimbo carried that over. And to Elko's, we don't get them every week like we did with Sumlin, but we've gotten them more now under Elko than we have.
To me, I'm an offensive guy. I was offensive line all the way through high school, and so like I'm a big Buffet Boy fan. And Colin Klein, like he knows offensive line. Like he's a big. What is it called? I guess the power spread offense, right? Like making sure that you've got your passing, but you establish the run and stuff like that. And so listening to his offensive philosophy is a lot of fun.
When you go out to practice, Morgan, what are the things that you like to A, hone in on generally, and B, maybe some of the things that you were looking forward to seeing with this Aggie squad?
I feel like I've only been out to one practice, and usually whenever I do go out there, I'm assigned the defense. I don't know why, but I am a defensive girl. I love the defensive side of the ball. But today I was mainly with the line and then the DNs. We saw Cassius Hell today, so I was zoned in on him, and then also Marco Jones, who looks ginormous out there.
Shout
honestly.
out to Robert Behrens, who got
You have to
a
put it
video
up.
I'll put it up in here.
Cassius Hell is big.
He's a tall dude. Me and Alex Miller were standing next to him. We look like children. I look like that next to most people anyway, so I'm not, whatever. So yeah, he's a large, tall dude.
And I mean, right, standing next to, I would say, dark horse, All-American. Like, yeah, you're gonna look small.
Yeah, and he said he's been underrated his whole career. So I'm excited to see what he's gonna do without the Shamars.
Yeah, exactly. I do think the numbers are gonna translate there. But
and with the defensive line from last year, they were able to get to the quarterback. They would have been 2-hand touch sack All-Americans last year. It was just getting the quarterback down. I'll be curious to see how much better they are. I asked him today about those sack numbers, and Cassius Howell said he believes that those sack numbers will increase.
Also, but another thing you look at practice is like, what are the coaches saying, and then how do the players respond to what the coach is saying? Because I know Ish was getting on the DBs all day today, and they seem to respond positively, but he was getting in on them.
Yeah, for sure. I think the interesting thing that I've seen too is that a lot of typically most coaches, the tight ends work out with the tight ends, the wide receivers work out, the running backs work out. But several of the tight ends, Amari Nyblock, really sticking out, did their whole thing with the wide receivers. And some of that might be switching. They do a little blocking. They might switch some guys out. We don't fully know that situation of what we see. But and he had good hands, good route running. That was an interesting thing for me to see.
To me, and this is what I keep going back to, like if I start putting together any sort of grand prediction or anything like that, when I'm thinking about the offense, not that our tight end play was bad last year, but it seemed like we were a little bit stronger at blocking and not as much at receiving. And I'm hoping / thinking, and just the indications from Colin Klein's presser were that we upgraded in both of those things in the offseason through the portal or just through continued experience with the dudes who are already on the team. Anybody from Keati Armstrong to Nye Black and so on and so forth. But I'm really interested to see how we use the tight ends this year. And I think that is, to me, that's the biggest question mark. Like, we know Craver and Casey are going to get the ball. We know Le'Veon Moss, Ruben Owens, probably even EJ and Amari are going to get their carries, but I think the little bit of a sleeper is what kind of numbers are we going to see out of the tight end, especially in the red zone, because I feel like that's Colin Klein's bread and butter, right? One of the reasons that we hired him was like his red zone efficiency, just scoring when we get to the red zone, and the tight end was a huge part of that. We talked about practicing corner routes today and stuff like that. Obviously, that's a big red zone package and stuff. But I'm glad that we have two games that are not cupcakes, But I'm glad we don't have to play Notre Dame the very first game this year, right?
And for clarification's sake, I'm not trying to say that Amari or any of those guys are moving to White. It just seems like they're getting some reps at some different aspects of what it being tied in with some different groups working out there. Well, I think a little bit maybe shorter of a pod this week as we kind of shuffle things around.
Very disorganized this week, but it's okay.
That's fine.
We're just riffing.
We will get
talking ball.
Ad-libbing.
We'll get everything.
I was gonna say, Morgan, since this is your last pod with us, maybe we can zoom in and talk to you when the Cowboys play the Patriots or something like that this year. Wouldn't that be fun? Anyway.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Do you have any season predictions?
That's exactly what I was going to
ask.
Is it really?
Yeah. No, you're
Travis. I just love cutting you guys off.
We're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, there we go.
We're one.
Let's give them 9 wins.
I last or however many weeks ago it was me, Tyler, and Jair, and I think we all settled on 9 wins. Sounds reasonable. It sounds doable.
I can tell you who I think the losses would be, but I don't. Do you want me to?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
At Texas.
Okay.
At Notre Dame and at LSU.
I would say pretty much exactly the same, unless we can steal one from Notre Dame and then maybe drop one against Arkansas.
We're going to do this later.
Oh, okay.
You'll hear Max's predictions at a later.
Those are mine. I just think Notre Dame is just as strong, if not stronger, than they were last year.
But maybe we are too, Morgan.
And then Nussmeier down in Death Valley. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep. Yeah. And we haven't beaten them there yet. So at this century
and
anyway.
at Texas is scary.
Yeah. Well, that's about all the time and energy we have this week for the Aggie Game Day Extra podcast. We are prepping. We are kind of saving because we're savoring because here in the next couple weeks is when we really get into preview season.
Gear it up.
We're really going to gear it up. We're really going to break down the X's and O's and the depth charts and whatnot. We just needed a week to kind of get back from the various beaches and things.
Yeah, we were all at a beach.
We were not all at a
Max was not at a beach.
I was watching y'all be at beaches.
You were on the beach of fatherhood.
Yeah.
Which is a wonderful beach. The sand is very coarse.
You were on the beach of Kinder Hill Brute Labs.
Yes, I was. You could find me there. Yes.
Anyway, we'll be back next week. We'll get to meet Aaron, our new, because everyone met Jair last week. We'll get to meet Aaron, our new sports reporter, and we will, of course, get into some of those X's and O's and preview this upcoming Aggie football season. So, for Max Crawford and for the last time, and the third time, Morgan Weaver, I'm Travis Brown. This is the Aggie Game Day Extra podcast. We didn't make Morgan cry, but that's okay. We'll see you next week.